Owen, first episode of Broken Bullish that we're going to be launching.
Exciting.
It's we've had how many attempts beforehand to do this?
I think attempt 4,
Yeah.
5 today.
Attempt 4 or 5. It's a journey.
It is a journey.
Yeah. I think like you and I we're both in kind of traditional industry type people that both have an interest in cryptocurrency and blockchain. Fair to say?
Yeah. 100%.
And I think this podcast, Broken Bullish, is your brainchild. I think where credit's due, mate.
Yeah. I'd say our brainchild at this stage, but I think the idea may have started over on my side of the table.
Yeah. So, what is the journey for you? And we can say it's ours, but what was the catalyst for you, and what does today mean to be able to do this?
Well, personally, I've been in crypto for 2 years. So I've worked in finance recruitment for 5 in Melbourne, 2 years in financial services in Dublin as well. And crypto in particular was kind of something that I was interested in more from an outside of work perspective as well. I've been fortunate that I've been able to merge it in working with companies that are hiring staff now into recruitment companies. People like yourself that have moved over from traditional finance into Web3 and in crypto. And today, and this podcast, I think, is kind of just a chance to connect with the market, connect with people who are interested in crypto, talk about what we're seeing on a grassroots level in terms of, anecdotally, what are people thinking about the market right now, how much demand is there, how much interest is there still in it. And I think from your perspective, maybe get a sense on different projects and how they're kind of going right now too.
Like you said, we know each other, but people listening may not know that, and may not know that I'm from traditional finance, and you helped me make a jump to the current role that I'm in at Caleb and Brown as a cryptocurrency broker. Went from an M&A background and auditing background to cryptocurrency, which is to say that it was very unfamiliar at the start, it would be an understatement. It was definitely unfamiliar, but you've got to be brave and prepared to take risk, I guess, in these worlds and this emerging asset class. But it was, your insights were pretty powerful to get me across the line. Even though it wasn't your job that you were recruiting for, you were very bullish on crypto, and you helped me put it down a really good thematic to flesh out and why I should join. And it's interesting that we're here today where finance recruitment and traditional finance backgrounds here talking about cryptocurrency and what it brings to, I guess, the Melbourne ecosystem. Really, I'd say we're very much focused on Melbourne. Would you agree?
Yeah, 100%. Obviously, having both of us working in this market, I think we get a good insight to it. And through this, it'd be great to just connect more with people who are local here, who are working in the space. But obviously, it is a global industry as well, and a global market. So
definitely,
we've got no shortage of projects or things to explore.
Exactly. And how do you feel? I've got my opinion, but the crypto scene in Melbourne, the blockchain scene in Melbourne, how do you feel it's growing over the last 2 years?
So I suppose the insights that I could look at for that are probably firstly from people that I'm speaking to that are interested to go and work in the space. I did a poll on my LinkedIn recently kind of asking people which industries they were most drawn to, and despite being in a bear market, crypto still came out on top. So people like yourself that are coming out of Big Fours or traditional financial investment houses, I think, are looking at Web3 and crypto as probably the most innovative space in the market right now.
Definitely exciting. And it's hard to think that we're in a bear market when we've had so much green in the charts these last couple of weeks. It's despite a looming technical recession, at least in the US, it seems that the market keeps on rallying from strength to strength. Is that putting any impact on you? Are people still bullish on the market because of that, do you feel? Is that
Yes, I think people are bullish in the market. I think people can see that everything's kind of correlated, obviously, through interest rates and what the Fed are doing right now. the underlying trend I still think is bullish for crypto, from an employment perspective. I still think that it is one of the spaces that people want to go towards, and I think people see that it's the technology that's probably, going to play a big part in our future, and probably much more of a part than it is today. So it's just a matter of figuring out what that's going to look like and what sort of employment opportunities there's going to be within that. But obviously there's plenty of risk to be navigated in doing that as well.
Yeah, and I feel like, do you feel like so from people that may be watching this, like we're going to put it out on our LinkedIn network, so it'll probably be people that know us personally that are watching this and people that maybe don't, so hello to those people. But do you feel that like people that are coming from my background, traditional finance, are drawn to cryptocurrency at this stage because of its moniker of revolutionizing finance? Do you think that that's what they're coming on board, or do you think it's like a bit of a cash grab for these people? What do you think do you think it's more libertarian focus and wanting to revolutionize the world? Where do you think the driver is coming from?
So I would say I don't think there is one catch-all there. I think people are drawn to the space for very different reasons. Some people it is libertarian values, some people it is probably come from a conservative perspective, some come from liberal. But I think the technology represents an opportunity for a lot of people to do business in new ways and to think about business in new ways, and I think that's probably the trend that is that's exciting most of the talent.
Definitely, yeah. I've recently I've been attending a lot of crypto events and blockchain events in person in Melbourne. I attended one with you, the Oz DeFi event, 3 weeks ago now on Tuesday. NFT Melbourne I also attended on the Thursday, and most recently this week I attended Satori, which was a new event coming out of the RMIT Incubator Hub, and It was interesting to see the people that were getting involved in the actual application of the technology. In my role, I'm focusing on the price movements and the charts and trying to assist people in getting good factual information on their investments, but realistically I don't think the future is so much what is the chart movement this week, that week. It's that's a vanity metric, whereas qualitatively the technology can be applied in such an amazing way to different things. Like I heard from Web3 marketers that were talking about the value in building a community to engage people through marketing. That seems to be a direction that it's going through. I've heard from people who are talking about decentralizing carbon credits distribution and putting that on the blockchain, another amazing instance. And I think as well, supply chain and blockchain have a lot of synergies, because you can use blockchain to give an actual verification of where something is sourced from. So provenance is fantastic. So all these things have value, and it's amazing that when you put yourself out there and actually talk to the people who are using the technology, it makes you very focused on the long term of how it could actually revolutionize ourselves. I think and I think that's the real exciting part, and it's probably not the sexiest part of blockchain at this stage because it's hard to talk about it and get people excited. But it feels like it's building really solid foundations for future application.
Big time. So you just ticked over 1 year now in crypto?
Yeah, well, professionally, yes, I've ticked over 1 year, and being a broker has been interesting. You look as an outsider looking in, going to jump into this role. A lot of people said it was the wild, wild west of finance, and maybe in some ways it is, and in some ways it isn't. The truth is that there are a lot of conscientious people here that are working to, build compliance, to make sure that we are always, not overstepping our boundaries, always acting with a future focus in mind, and that's kind of a thing that I get from crypto. It's future focus. So for us at CNB, it's anticipating that this industry will one day be classed as a financial asset. It's not yet today a financial asset, and it's not yet regulated, which puts a lot of risk onto the consumer, onto the retail investor. And our role is to just basically explain the risk, not to advise directions, but explain the risk as to what is occurring in the market. And
so just If you were to reflect on the first year working professionally in the space, what's been different to what you were expecting, or if you were able to go back and give yourself any advice, what would you kind of offer from 1 year now working at CMB?
Yeah, that's a great question. Like, to someone like me who's looking to get involved in the space, it's, if you're coming from a structured Big Four background, which I came from, you have to be prepared to be a self-starter. You have to be prepared to fail and pick yourself up and really try new things in strategy. It's about personal accountability being in crypto. If you don't have personal accountability, you're going to struggle to find the next deal, the next insight, the next opportunity for yourself in the business, because this space is about driving. It's about driving towards a better tomorrow. So I feel that a lot of it's exciting to take on that personal accountability, but also it's very different coming from the structure, because Big Four was fantastic. It's a fantastic learning ground to learn from people who know so much of finance, of business in general. There's a wealth of knowledge in there, and when you take that step, you're breaking a ceiling. You're taking your knowledge of business and you're applying it, and that's really like the advice I'd give, is like, really be prepared to drive your own projects, drive your own KPIs. You have to be a self-starter, and it's mandatory, I think.
Yeah, fair. Is there any people that you would say, like, what kind of person do you think wouldn't be well suited to crypto then?
I don't know, like, the crypto has all sorts. Like, I was at the NFT Melbourne event, it was actually down, we're at the CMB office right now, and we have a nice view, and that's why you're looking on a beautiful cityscape, if you can see it. But we were down at Bankser on the Thursday night 2 or 3 weeks ago, and talking at NFT Melbourne. And NFT Melbourne is a fantastic community. It's a growing community, which I think is amazing. And if you were to characterize your average cryptocurrency or NFT collector, it would be someone who is very young or impressionable and not really good people skills and things like that. Whereas that is probably the image most people have in their minds, yet in actuality it's not. It's a group of eclectic people who have broad experiences, broad ages, broad backgrounds, and they really like to network and socialize with each other. So the people who are not well suited, I don't know if there's many not well suited types of people, because it's a section of business that takes everyone. It doesn't matter what creed you are, you can literally be anyone in crypto and become accepted, and that's the thing. It's about acceptance, and people have insights. It's just where I think people struggle is that the battle lines can often be drawn in cryptocurrency of polarizing positions, and it's about open-mindedness, at least in investment. This whole asset class is an open-minded asset class.
Big time. Big time. I'd probably add risk profile onto that as well.
Yeah.
It's like the thing that I've seen over the last year or so. Like, originally I thought of crypto almost exclusively as an investment opportunity.
Yeah.
Now looking at it as an employment opportunity, I think it taps into a slightly different risk profile. It's one thing to put your savings or some excess money into an investment. It's another thing to go and put your career there. I think some people that do that without maybe being mindful of what it means to their lifestyle outside of work is a big factor as well. Yeah,
for me it went from doing a 5-day-a-week job, which was you could have your weekends, to monitoring a market that's 24/7, monitoring a client book that's 24/7, and it's a big lifestyle change. You do have flexibility from a day-to-day basis, but it is a big change, as you were saying. And I think, it's interesting that you said investment, because and risk, because this is, I think, one of the biggest challenges of the space is that you have blockchain, which is not necessarily the same as crypto. Crypto is the tokenized form of blockchain, but blockchain as a technology can be applied, and crypto is marketing itself as an investment. Yet famously. I think this year is no hiding. It's down a significant amount. I believe over 50% as an asset class.
Yeah.
It's recovered this week well, but
nice to see a little bounce.
It's nice to see a little bounce, but who's to know where it will go? And that's the thing about risk and investment, is that there's a relationship there. And again, one of your questions earlier was, what would you say to people getting involved? Is like, understand that there is a relationship between risk and investment, and you're investing your career as well. You need to characterize the risks associated with cryptocurrency, because it is that grey area. It is that, right now, it is that nascent asset space that's growing, and you need to be along for the ride.
Big time.
Yeah. Strap yourself in.
Strap ourselves in.
Yeah. But, it's fun. There's a lot of learning to come through, and, the weeks and months ahead are no doubt going to be interesting. I think we just need to be prepared for more growth and more learning. But before I guess we wrap up, is there anything that you're looking forward to in the next few weeks?
Not particularly from a market perspective. I think right now still watching, I went obviously to the Satsand event as well. I think getting more of an insight to some of the utility cases for blockchain outside of just currency is really exciting. And being part of the community, seeing the people that are interested in the space, that's where my intentions still are, connecting with those people. But it's definitely the long game. So there's nothing that I'm really looking at right now in terms of a 1 to 4 week window that I'm most excited about. But I think if I zoom out and think 4 years down the line, I am very excited to see where blockchain's going.
Cool, yeah. And look, for me, I think I echo those thoughts. It's, I'm looking more qualitatively at some things that we can put our minds to. So I'm looking forward to more networking events, meeting more people. Yeah, I'm looking forward to, I'm not hinging my hopes on the market. I think the market is going to do what it does. It has a mind of its own. I think I'm interested in seeing what Caleb and Brown go through, the next iterations of our growth, and my personal growth as well. I'm studying again, doing FACI accreditation to one day be able to give some interesting insights to clients. But that's a personal growth thing that I'm going through as well right now. But I am looking forward to one thing, and that's the Ethereum merge. Yeah, it's coming up, but
it's been interesting to see Ethereum rally recently.
Yeah,
because what's it up? Probably 70% from. It broke $1,000 on the downside there.
Yeah, it's up a fair bit, but seeing what that will, like proof of stake will do for the market instead of proof of work. But interesting, a lot of topics to talk about probably in future, and we'll be back. When do we want to commit to coming back anytime soon, or
we'll be back?
We'll be back. Okay,
we'll be back.
Well, I guess that wraps up our first successful podcast of Broken Bullish. So I've been Paul, and
I've been Owen,
and we're going to be back and coming to a LinkedIn browser near you.
Beautiful. More crypto chat coming soon.
Thank you guys. Take care.
Bye.